If you are over 30 years of age, I want you to listen to this. On average, adults lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. And the rate of muscle loss tends to accelerate after you're 60. So if you have low muscle mass, you're predisposed to poor blood sugar regulation, slower metabolism, hormonal imbalances, inflammation, chronic diseases, and mental health issues. In this episode of Heal Thyself, you will learn about my top 3 tips to optimize muscle for your frame. So one of the most important things we can do at our age, especially as we're nearing 30, 40 years old, is to really start prioritizing our muscle. And that doesn't mean you're going to become a big bodybuilder and stiff and just not lean. You want to be lean and sexy and toned. And it's not just for aesthetics. Good, you look great, you feel great, but there's deeper levels to this. Muscle is such an important organ of blood sugar metabolism, of longevity, its functionality, protects your bones, it keeps your bones strong. The musculoskeletal system is so important, reducing inflammation in the body. I really can't understate this. Y'all want to really put the strength and the form of your muscles really high. It's important to start building up your muscles. Now, it all starts with protein. For so many years, we hear, oh, you don't need that much protein. You get protein from all this, and you don't need to really prioritize it, but you do if you want to build muscle, okay? And I'm speaking from not only my own personal experience with this, but also all the medical research, right? So it's about 1.2 to 1.7 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day that you want to be consuming if you want to start building muscle. That equates to 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. Now, for me, I'm now 180 pounds and I eat about 170 grams of protein a day. And that's because I'm in that optimizing muscle priority. I want to make sure as I head towards the age of 40, I'm building up enough muscle because I know that I'm already starting to break down muscle. And we are. It's called sarcopenia, and we lose 3 to 8% of our muscle mass starting the age of 30. So all of you over the age of 30, just know that your body is already starting to break down. You're losing that muscle mass, you're losing that protein, those amino acids all throughout the body. So we're now working uphill. Not like when we were 20s, we were just building and building and building. The best time is to do it when you're 20 and 20 to 30, but it's never too late. Now, I want to share with you 3 of the most important interventions for building good muscle. You could do it on your own, but I think supplementation is not evil. I think supplementation is just that. It supplements a healthy diet. It supplements you really prioritizing good amounts of protein in your food. And it's all different types of protein that I'll talk about. But one of my favorite supplements, men and women out there, available for you is creatine. Creatine is a naturally occurring compound found in small amounts in certain foods, right? It's made by the human body. It's super important at producing energy in the body, especially in your muscle cells. This is why your muscle cells eat it up. And you can take it as a dietary supplement. It's most commonly used as a powder, and it's used for athletic performance. I remember using it in high school when I played sports and in college when I was really working out. But it helps increase your muscle mass, but not in muscle mass so you look like a bodybuilder. It's giving your muscle cells more energy when you're at the gym. And that's really important, right? Because to build strength, to build muscle, you need energy in those cells in your muscles so you have strength to increase your weight. So the most popular form of creatine is creatine monohydrate. There's so many studies behind it. It is a gold standard. There's other forms, but that's the best one to take. So how does creatine work? Well, for one, it enhances your physical performance. The reason why is because creatine is stored in your muscles. It's as something called phosphocreatine. And creatine is renowned. It really is renowned for its ability to improve your overall physical performance in any activities that are requiring short bursts of high intensity effort, whether that's you just repping out some weight, whether that's you sprinting, whether that's you playing sports, whatever it is of high intensity, your body, your muscles are using up that creatine stored in there. So what you want to do is give the body creatine, and it's going to facilitate rapid ATP production. That is the production of energy in those muscle cells. And that's super important because you want to be able to have strong contractions during high intensity exercises. Number 2, creatine helps increase muscle mass. Creatine supplementation, when you combine it with resistance training, has been shown, many studies on this, to lead to significant increases in muscle mass and strength. Why? Because it's attributed to not only increasing the water content in the muscle cells, but it's also enhancing protein synthesis, among many other mechanisms, as we just spoke about, bringing more energy to the muscle cells. But what you're getting is an overall effect where you're able to build muscle and you're having good support from an agent that is supporting muscle growth on all levels. It's really, really important, really powerful, and for all intents and purposes, really safe. Nuzest Good Green Vitality has revolutionized my approach to holistic health as a believer in whole body wellness. This is an all-in-one nutritional supplement, and it's been a significant find in my life. It is crafted with an impressive blend of vitamins, minerals, and superfoods. It's a true symphony of nutrients designed to support every aspect of my health. It bridges the gap between what we eat and what our bodies truly need, providing comprehensive nourishment overall. Now, the convenience factor is unparalleled. Imagine replacing several bottles of supplements with just one scoop of Good Green Vitality. It simplifies your life without compromising the quality of nutrition. My own experience has been transformative. I have better energy, better digestion. I have a strengthened immune system. Those are just a few benefits that I enjoyed. Good Green Vitality isn't just a supplement, it's a commitment to my overall health. And I encourage you to embrace this path to vitality. It's a step towards nurturing your body, your mind, and your spirit. You can get 20% off of Nuzest products by using the code DRG at checkout. Head to nuzest-usa.com/DRG and learn more to start your journey towards whole body wellness with Good Green Vitality. That is nuzest-usa.com/DRG and use the code DRG for 20% off. Staying hydrated is the key to feeling your best, but with all the concerns about tap water and quality, it's hard to know if what you're drinking is truly clean. For me, it's super important to get the best, purest water possible without any of the contaminants. This is why I'm excited to share Aquatru with you. Aquatru purifiers use a 4-stage reverse osmosis purification process, meaning that they tackle harmful contaminants head on. And the best part about it, there's no insulation or plumbing required. You just plug it in and you are good to go. With almost half of the US tap water containing PFAS, all that nasty forever chemicals that we're finding everywhere that's affecting our health, Aquatru certification to remove these contaminants gives us peace of mind. Plus, their range of purifiers fits every home, from countertop options to under the sink models. You know, long-term exposures to PFAS can have serious health effects. So knowing that Aquatru removes all of them is a huge relief. And their filters, they're affordable, they're long-lasting. They last from 6 months to 2 years. And think about it, one set of filters makes the equivalent of 4,500 bottles of water, and that's less than 3 cents in a bottle. So switching to Aquatru can honestly taste different. And by switching to Aquatru many years ago, you could taste a difference in the water. I know that I did. It's crystal clear, it tastes fantastic. It's set up with a breeze, super easy, nothing complicated. It delivers right to your door in minutes, and it's up and running. Now, the best part is Aquatru comes back with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it risk-free. And for you, the Heal Thyself listener, guess what? You get 20% off of the Aquatru Purifier. Head over to aquatru.com. That is AQUATRU.com and enter the code DRG at checkout. And if you're ready to upgrade your water game and enjoy pure, clean water straight from the tap, do not wait. Go to aquatru.com and use the code DRG for 20% off today. What else is in the magic of creatine? Well, it's not just for muscles. It's for brain. It helps improve cognitive function. There's many studies, especially the recent ones that they've been going into creatine and brain, that show that it improves cognitive performance, particularly during periods of when you're sleep deprived. Now, how many of you are sleep deprived? Some of you just cut out the sleep when you need to do more work or hang out more with your friends. Well, when you're sleep deprived, it actually helps your brain. And these improvements, they're linked to basically increased energy metabolism in the brain. It's enhanced. Increased uptake of creatine in the brain cells. It's not just your muscle cells. So just like your muscle cells, your neurons of your brain are benefiting from creatine in pretty much the same way. So it's hitting your muscles and it's hitting your brain. Creatine has neuroprotective effects. It protects your brain in multiple ways, especially in conditions like Parkinson's disease. It helps reduce mental fatigue. It supports cellular energy production, as we said, but also has this ability to reduce that oxidative stress in the neurons of the brain. And think about it. We're exposed to so much. We're breathing in so much. Whether you live in the city or you have mold in your house, you have something that is actually helping the integrity and protecting the integrity of your brain cells. That's very, very, very important. I can't understate how important that is because of the environment we're exposed to. And something that I've noticed is the days that I take creatine for my workouts, actually my body feels better the next morning. There's a reduced muscle cell damage that has been seen in studies and reducing inflammation following really exhaustive exercises. So improved recovery times means you can go to the gym and you can get back to lifting whatever you need to. And it's reduced in muscle soreness. That's really, really important that you could bounce back. And there's different studies, different meta-analyses showing this. And one of my favorite ones, creatine may actually enhance glucose metabolism and improve insulin sensitivity. That's a good thing. The more you're building muscle, it's having a cumulative effect. So now you're taking creatine, it's helping you build muscle. Now you're building muscle, and what's happening is you have better insulin sensitivity. Your glucose level, the balance of your glucose levels, you have better glucose metabolism. Your cells are taking in the glucose the way it needs to, and it's not staying in your blood vessels, predisposing you toward a major, major chronic disease of prediabetes and diabetes. All right, number 2, I want to share with you one of my favorite other supplements for really improving muscle growth, and it's aminos. It's really important because aminos, amino powders in particular, that contain all the essential amino acids have been one of my major golden star gem supplements for this process of putting on weight and putting on muscle. Now, for me, that was a goal of mine. As you build muscle, you may notice your weight goes up, but it's going to be muscle, right? We want to think about that. It's going to be muscle. A lot of you are scared to put on muscle, but it's about putting it on for your frame. We're not talking about being synthetic looking or if you're a woman out there, too masculine looking, too much muscle. No. We're talking about good, lean, optimized health for your body, good body mass that your body wants. You don't have to have a six-pack. You just want to start optimizing the muscle. And we can all optimize better unless you're really dedicated to this. But in any case, aminos are fantastic. Essential amino acids are fantastic dietary supplements, especially in muscle building, because amino acids are essential for everything. There's 2 different types of amino acids, non-essential and essential amino acids. For the purposes of this, we're talking about essential amino acids. These are ones you get from diet. Your body's not making these. Now, the beautiful thing is when you take an amino powder, you're getting highly bioavailable aminos into your system. More bioavailable than eating chicken, tofu, salmon, steak, peas, quinoa. You're getting these amino acids. Now, what are the essential amino acids? Really the ones that are helping you put on this muscle are leucine, lysine, isoleucine, valine, threonine, phenylalanine, methionine, histidine, and tryptophan. If you're buying an amino supplement, and I'm going to actually link in this podcast all of the ones that I use, all the companies that I use, and the products that I've used, it's all going to be in the show notes. Don't worry about that. But if you do buy an amino supplement, whichever one you buy, they got to have these. They have to have these 9 essential amino acids in them, and you want to make sure that it's a high quality one. Now, amino powders are fantastic. They are the building blocks of proteins. They play crucial roles in all of our physiological processes, including muscle repair. The immune system relies on amino acids. Our hormones rely on amino acids. And these supplements are really popular in athletics and bodybuilding, but it's also just popular in anyone who is looking to put on some muscle, right? So we want to make sure we're looking for a quality one, yes, but knowing the importance of these essential amino acids is very important. Now, one of the major things is energy. Essential amino acid powder that you supplement as part of your workout regimen stimulates cellular energy production. It counteracts just overall fatigue. It prevents muscles from fatiguing, or reduces muscle fatigue. It helps enhance during training, especially if you're bringing it with you. Now, when it comes to your muscles, they contain an active component of protein that stimulates muscle growth. And what I mean by that is when you get an amino acid powder, you want to make sure, and look at the numbers, that 40% of it is leucine. If you're plant-based, it's really hard to get leucine, okay? So if you're plant-based fully, you want to make sure you're supplementing with an amino powder anyway, especially if you're working out. But you want to make sure it's high in leucine because it is crucial for optimizing muscle protein synthesis. This is the amino acid. They're all important, but if there was ever one that's really important, it's this one. So you want to make sure you're getting a quality one. It's helpful for recovery, just overall. Just like creatine, it's protecting your muscle. It's reducing that inflammation, right? It's promoting muscle synthesis, yes, but it's also helping your muscles recover. And they can be taken whenever too. Sometimes I take them before the gym, sometimes during the gym. Sometimes I forget to take them after, and sometimes I take them before bed. I just get them in my body. Usually for the creatine, I'll take it before a workout. But I want you guys to start thinking about, like in your 20s, it was easy to lose weight, or it was easy to get fit. And as we get older, it's true. It gets a little bit harder and harder and harder and harder. So we have to start making the interventions now. And what I want to give you is all of my best recommendations, how to support such an important process. I'm a believer that all of us, men and women out there, we need to optimize the muscle for our frame. We are sedentary and we have muscle breakdown, and we're not prioritizing muscle the way we used to. And we're built to run. We're built to climb up trees. We're built to throw rocks. We're built to move, and we're not moving as much. So we have to make sure we're getting to the gym. We have to make sure we're supplementing with these quality products, which brings me to my last one, protein powder. Protein powder supplementation is amazing. It is one of the quickest ways to get in a good amount of protein to sort of hit that number, that range that I mentioned earlier on the show. And it can come from different sources, right? It can be plant-based protein powder or animal-based protein powder. Look, I'm always a proponent of food first, always. But you'll notice if you're really on this fitness journey and you want to put on muscle, you're going to notice that sometimes you're just not hungry for another meal, or you're in the rush and you can't make another meal. One of the most convenient sources are plant-based protein powders or animal-based protein powders. And I'm going to talk about both. And we're going to actually talk about both head to head. These supplements are really fantastic. They support muscle growth, the repair, just overall health. There's a lot of research on them, especially on the animal-based ones, the whey ones. So they can come in all forms. They could come in the whey. It can come as casein protein, soy protein, pea powder protein, hemp protein. I'll talk about whey first. It's derived from milk. Whey protein is one of the most popular ones out there. It's one of the best studied ones out there. It contains all of the essential amino acids, and it's quickly absorbed in the body, which is really amazing because it's great for a post-workout recovery. Casein protein is a protein that's derived from milk. It's slow digesting and provides a steady release of the amino acids. This one can be consumed before bed. It would actually be better to consume it before bed versus post-workout. You want those amino acids to be slowly released. A lot of people have issues with casein. I can't consume casein because I'm sensitive to dairy. And plant-based proteins. These are proteins that are derived from soy, pea, hemp, rice. They're suitable for vegetarians, vegans, and if you're lactose intolerant or have dairy allergies. So some of the benefits of protein powder supplementation are it's going to help your muscle growth. It's going to help your muscle repair. Any protein powder is going to provide essential amino acids, or many of these are going to provide most of the essential amino acids that are supporting your muscle growth and synthesis. It's crucial. When it comes to protein powder, it can also help with weight management. Protein can actually increase your satiety, right? It's how many of you know that if you have a high protein meal, you're not really hungry for a while? It reduces your overall caloric intake and supports weight management. So high protein diets are actually really helpful for weight loss and maintenance, even weight maintenance. So we want to start thinking about how can I support my daily caloric plan or my daily food with having high protein meals. Now, consuming protein powder after exercise helps reduce muscle soreness. It speeds up that recovery. It helps repair those damaged tissues so we can show up to the gym more frequently if that's something that you value, or at least getting in a good workout, which we should all value. Now, how you use protein powder is however you use it, but what I can recommend is it's great after a workout. Sometimes I'll take it before a workout. Sometimes even between meals to curb hunger. My hunger's been going up more and more. So you can even take it before or an hour or two before bed, especially that casein one if you're not sensitive to dairy. It'll be helpful at feeding your muscles, feeding your musculoskeletal system as you sleep. There's no recommended dosage, but a lot of these powders, and if you're unsure which plant-based protein powder to take, remember back in January, I did a show reviewing all of the best protein powders. Keep an eye out this month because I'm going to be releasing the ebook for that. So you'll have a guide for all of it, and I'll be re-releasing the show for everyone to check it out. So I did do the plant-based protein powder one. I'm going to do a whey one for everyone too. But most of these powders are going to have 20 to 30 grams of protein per serving. That's typical. So just depending on what your needs are and how much protein you need per day, oftentimes someone will have 2 drinks a day, 1 drink a day. Just know where you fall and how much protein you need in your program as you work out, following those numbers that I mentioned before. And the nice thing about a lot of these proteins is that they're versatile. They don't have to just be made in a drink or a smoothie. I add them in I have chia pudding every single day, and I make my own, and I add in 2 scoops of protein in there. So all of a sudden the chia pudding, which has protein in itself, I'll add hemp seeds and I'll add some protein on it, goes from without the protein, maybe 15 grams, 10 grams, all the way up to 40 grams of protein, 45 grams of protein in a meal. So we just want to get creative about how can we really centralize our protein every meal to every meal. Now, this is going to beg the question now, of course, because we love being in camps, whey protein versus plant-based protein. When choosing between whey protein and plant-based protein, you want to make sure that you're aware of several factors, including the nutritional content, how digestible it is, if you have a dietary preference, which one tastes better, right? Because you're going to be sticking to it if it tastes better. Now, for me, I've been plant-based for many, many years, since 2009. And I've consumed whey protein now, and it's been very much so helpful. Now, there's different types of whey protein that I'm going to talk about. There's some that I can't consume because I start coughing, I start getting congested. It doesn't feel good to my body. And there's other ones that my body is completely okay with. With that said, I'll consume the large majority of my week is plant-based protein, and I'll do some whey proteins after really heavy workouts. Whey protein is derived from milk. It's a byproduct of cheese production, and it contains all 9 of those essential amino acids that we were talking about. It's a complete protein. There's a lot of research behind whey and muscle growth, muscle support, recovery. Now, there's different types, and I mentioned this, and you want to be sensitive to this. Whey protein concentrate, I personally don't do well with. You may do well with. It contains some fat and some lactose, right? So if you're sensitive to dairy, you're going to be sensitive to this, okay? The protein content ranges from 70 to 80% protein content in this one. Whey protein isolate, this is the one that my body is okay with. They basically use this process to remove all of the fat, or most of the fat, and lactose, right? So it's not aggravating my stomach, and it has a protein content typically above 90%. I prefer that one. Now, when it comes to whey protein, there's muscle growth and repair. We know that whey is enriched in a lot of these amino acids that help, especially leucine. There's quick absorption. The whey protein is quickly digested in the body. We know that. It gets into the body really quick, which makes it fantastic for a post-workout meal. But we have to be sensitive. Are you sensitive to dairy, right? I know that if someone gives me milk, I'm going to be bloated. I'm going to be burping. I'm going to be mucousy. The same thing with cheese. But if you're not, maybe you can tolerate it. I would actually still recommend to isolate higher protein content, less fat, less lactose. And some individuals actually may end up having digestive discomfort. So you got to be really clear on what you work well with. Now, when it comes to plant-based proteins, these are coming from peas or rice or hemp or soy or even quinoa. They can be a single source one, or it can be a blend of all of different types of protein. Soy protein contains all 9 essential amino acids. It's similar to animal proteins. It's probably the best protein that you can have overall. Pea protein is high in something called branched chain amino acids, which actually are really helpful for recovery. And it's rich in arginine. Rice protein, I'm not much of a fan about. It's lower in lysine, which is another essential amino acid that we need to utilize for our muscle growth compared to the other ones. Hemp protein contains essential fatty acids, and it's got some fiber additionally to protein. It just might fill you up a lot. So some of the benefits is digestibility. Some are easier to digest than others, especially if you have lactose issues. This is your go-to. They're mostly nutritionally dense. Oftentimes they contain even additional nutrients. They have some vitamins in there, some minerals in there. Some of them are more fiber rich. So we just want to start being aware of like, okay, what is my body reacting to? What feels good for me? You're different than the person right next to you. Look to your left right now. That person, you're different than that person. Biochemically, bioindividually, we're all the same, right? We all share the same source soul. But to get away from a deep conversation, we all have this bioindividuality. So we want to make sure that we connect and we know what's good for you. Fantastic thing about plant-based protein is there's a sustainable, environmentally friendly, lower carbon footprint compared to animal-based protein powders or animal-based foods. Now, some of the potential drawbacks of a plant-based protein is the amino acid profile. Some plant-based proteins may lack one or more of the essential amino acids, but it can also be mitigated by making sure that you're eating different plant-based protein sources in your day. Again, I said soy is one of the best ones that you can take. But if you do get a soy protein powder, make sure that it is organic. You've got to make sure that it's organic. Don't mess around with non-organic soy for many reasons, not the least of which being pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, rodenticides, all the nasty stuff that gets hit on the soy plant and gets translated to the soy protein. Another downside may be taste and texture. I've had almost every plant-based protein. Some of them are good. Some of them are terrible. Some of them are smooth. Some of them are grainy. Again, go back to my plant-based protein powder show and you're going to find out which ones are really good for you. But both whey and plant-based protein powders, they have unique advantages, some better than the others, but it's your choice. Look into what works well for you, especially when you're really prioritizing putting on more muscle and becoming more fit. It's going to be really, really important to make sure you find out what works best for your body. Where are your approaches? What do you value? And then start getting behind that. Again, remember, in the show notes, you'll have links to my favorite protein powders, my favorite creatine, and my favorite aminos. And the biggest question between the biggest camps that is argued about is bioavailability. That refers basically to the proportion of the nutrient that is going to be absorbed by the body. It's utilized by the body, right? And when comparing the bioavailability of whey protein to plant-based protein, there's several factors we have to start considering. They come into play. Now, we know whey is highly bioavailable. Whey protein is known for super high bioavailability. It contains all those 9 essential amino acids that are really important for muscle growth, muscle repair, muscle recuperation, muscle strength. There's something called the protein digestibility corrected amino acid score, the PDCAAS. And whey protein actually has a 1.0. This is the highest possible score you can have. It indicates that basically it meets all of the essential acid requirements for humans and is highly digestible. It's quickly absorbed in the body. It makes it particularly effective for post-workout or any fast absorption for these amino acids. It's going to really, really start helping that muscle synthesis. In plant-based protein powders, there's a variable in bioavailability, okay? And we have to start considering this. For example, soy protein has a relatively high PDCAAS score. It's close to 1. But other plant-based protein powders like the rice protein powder and the pea protein powder are going to have lower scores, right? So we really want to consider that, right? Again, that's why I said if you want to really focus on muscle and absorption of these amino acids, get yourself a clean soy protein powder because you'll be getting more amino acids into the body, which again is going to translate to better fitness. Some plant-based protein powders have slower absorption rates. It takes a while versus the whey one. But again, I fully understand. I actually have most of mine plant-based protein powder in some way. But in conclusion, we know that the whey has higher bioavailability. It's going to be quicker absorbed. So if you do choose to mix them up like I do, use that one after the gym. So, when we think about all of this is all supplementation. It's in the context of you making sure you're getting into bed, right? Getting a good night's sleep, optimizing, prioritizing good sleep. That's where you're going to repair your muscles. Prioritizing going on walks after meals or going on walks when you can and just moving your body still, not only just to go into the gym. Prioritizing eating well, getting a mix of good high fiber foods, good high protein foods, not eating processed foods, cooking your foods, eating from earth. It's going to be so, so important in the context of everything. What I'm telling you is a supplementation piece, which is actually helpful. It's just that supplementation, but it's important. It works well. But it's the big thing, the big take home is all of that. And of course, stress. Stress will stop you from putting on muscle. Stress will increase your fat and by virtue of cortisol. So we really want to think about how we're handling stress, which brings me to all of the favorite stuff that I talk about: emotional healing, emotional releasing, meditation, community, connection, feeling loved. If you're in a cluttered household, a stressful household, cleaning up your life, and let that be in conjunction with you putting yourself first and working out and showing up better to your body, showing up better with your mental health, your energetic health. All of it is all one. Everything, it's all health. So I really hope this show was really able to help you. Remember, don't be afraid to put on muscle. Do it for your frame. That doesn't mean just keep going, go crazy. You're not going to be looking all hyper bulky. Do what works well for your frame, what makes you feel good, but definitely prioritize that muscle. There you go.